Hello everyone, welcome back to my video. In this video, I want to tell you about active and passive voice. So what are you waiting for? Let me start the material. So guys, how are you today? I hope you stay healthy. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Wayan Darmayanti and I'm from class A1 Denpasar, major in English Literature Department, Hindu State University of Gusti Bagus Griwo Denpasar on the 3rd semester. Okay guys, in this video, I want to tell you about 3 subtopics. The first one is active voice, the second one is passive voice, and the last one is describe the change of active into passive voice. So guys, what are you waiting for? Let me start the material. The first subtopic is active voice. Definition. Active voice tells us what a person does. The subject performs the action, which is verb, on the object. And this is for the formula, subject plus verb plus object. And the example, the first example is lions adore beef. The second example, we found a lost puppy in the garden. From the 2 examples above, the word we and lions are the subject in the sentence, followed by a verb. Next, let's continue to the active voice features. The first one is active voice sentences tend to have a firm and clear tone. The second one, the active sentence, is marked with the subject at the beginning. The third one, the subject is followed by the to be form, the verb, and the object. And the last one, can tell clearly about the subject who has done something. So now, let's continue to the passive voice. Definition. Passive voice tells us what is done to someone or something. The subject is being acted upon. And this is for the formula, object plus verb plus subject. Or we can use subject plus to be plus past participle plus by plus object. And this is for the example. The first one is the romantic comedy novel Crazy Rich Asians was written by Kevin Swam. And the second example, an old man was found dead on the street. So now let's move to the active voice features. The first one is when we change a sentence from active to passive, the object becomes the subject. The second one, not telling clearly about the actor who has done an action. The last one, we must add by at the end of the sentence if we want to make it clear who did an action. The last topic is describe the change of active into passive voice. In here, I want to describe the change of active into passive voice in the first one is present simple passive. The second one is present continuous passive. The third one is past simple passive. The fourth one is future simple passive. Next, present perfect. Next, past perfect. Next, passive voice without be. Next, passive of verb containing two objects. Next, passive voice of sentences containing prepositions. And the last one is passive of verbs with object and object complements. So, yeah, I want to describe one by one. Let's continue. The first one is present simple passive. We use the present simple when an action is happening right now or when it happens regularly or every day or as expected. And this is for the formula, active voice formula, subject plus verb s or es plus object. Passive voice formula, object plus to be, am is are plus verb 3 or past participle plus by plus subject. And this is for the example, active voice example. The gardener waters the flowers every evening. And we change to the passive voice. The flowers are watered by the gardener every evening. The next example, Karina doesn't drink anything in parties. And this is for the passive voice. Nothing is drunk by Karina in parties. The second one is present continuous passive. We use present continuous when an action or condition is happening now, frequently, and might continue into the future. And this is for the formula, active voice formula, subject plus to be, am is are plus verb ing plus object. And this is for the passive voice formula, object plus to be, am is are plus being plus verb 3 or past participle plus by plus subject. And this is for the example, active voice. The postman is delivering the mail. And we change into the passive voice. The mail is being delivered by the postman. The next example, Harry Potter is measuring the room. And we change into the passive voice. The room is being measured by Harry Potter. Next, past simple passive. Past simple used to talk about things that happened or existed before now or in the past. And this is for the formula. And active voice formula, subject plus verb 2 plus object. And passive voice formula, object was or were plus verb 3 or past participle plus by plus subject. And this is for the example. The teacher corrected the mistakes, and we changed into the passive voice. The mistakes were corrected by the teacher. The next example, Arga didn't eat any apples, and we changed into the passive voice. No apples were eaten by Arga. Next, future simple passive. Future simple used to refer to actions or states that begin and end in the future. And this is for the formula, active voice formula, subject plus will plus verb 1 plus object. And this is for the passive voice formula, object plus will plus be plus verb 3 or past participle plus by plus subject. And this is the example for the active voice. Nana will buy a new phone. And we change into the passive voice. A new phone will be bought by Nana. The next example, my brother will fix my working table. And we change into the passive voice. My working table will be fixed by my brother. Next, present perfect. Present perfect is often used for an action that started at some time in the past and is still continuing now. Also, an action which happened in the past but have an effect in the present. And this is for the formula, active voice formula, subject plus has or have plus verb 3 plus object. And passive voice, object plus have or has plus been plus verb 3 or past participle plus by and plus subject. And this is for the example, active voice example. They have cleaned the clinic. And we change into the passive voice. The clinic has been cleaned by them. The next example, Adina has written many books. And we change into the passive voice. Many books have been written by Adinda. Next, past perfect. Past perfect is used to express something that started in the past and continued up to another action or time in the past. And this is for the formula, active voice formula, subject plus had plus verb 3 plus object. And passive voice formula, object plus had plus been plus verb 3 or past participle plus by plus subject. And this is for the example. In the first example, which is active voice example, the brave man had defended the city. And we change into the passive voice. The city had been defended by the brave man. The next example, the little girl had broken the window. And we change to the passive voice. The window had been broken by the little girl. Next, passive voice without be. We use passive voice without be when we don't know who did the action. When the agent is clearly stated, to hide who does the action, and the one who does the action isn't important. And this is for the example, active voice, Jack makes cheese in the shop, and we change into the passive voice, cheese is made in the shop. We can see in here, in a passive voice, we don't know who is the subject, who is do the action. Okay, do you get it? I hope so, yeah. Next, passive of verbs containing two objects. Passive verbs containing two objects means that a verb that followed by two objects which was an indirect object and a direct object. The most commonly used are give, lend, send, show. And this is for the formula subject, which is direct object plus passive verb plus indirect object plus by plus agent. Next, subject, which is indirect object plus passive verb plus direct object plus by plus agent. And this is for the example, a book was lent to Jerome by the librarian. Next, the letter was sent to the cameraman by my father. A bathrobe was offered to Suga by his friend. The passive form of the verb with two objects is used to put focus either on a direct object or the indirect object of the sentence in the active form when they become the subject of the sentence in the passive form. We use it also to create a more complex sentence in terms of. Next, passive voice of sentences containing prepositions. We use passive voice in sentences containing prepositions when we put an active sentence where a preposition follows after the verb. For the example, break into, look after, listen to. Into passive, the preposition remains immediately after the verb. And this is for the example, active voice, someone broke into the pet shop. And we change into the passive voice, the pet shop was broken into. The next, they looked for the baby, and we change into the passive voice, the baby was looked for. Next, or the last example, someone shouts at the man, and we change into the passive voice, the man is shouted at. And the last one is passive of verbs with object and object complement. Subject plus verb plus object plus complement in here is the formula. After some verbs, indirect object can be followed by an object complement, a noun or adjective which describes or classifies the object. For the example, they elected him their leader. The other children called her stupid. When these clauses are made passive, these object complements become subject complements. They come after the verb. For the example, he was elected their leader. She was called stupid by the other children. Okay guys, I think that's all about the material today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.